Hi crochet friends! In this week's video we are going to be learning how to crochet this gorgeous mesh bag. This is a very beginner friendly tutorial. We are mainly going to be using double crochet and I'll take you through step by step on how to create everything. These are the materials that I'll be using today. You can use any type of yarn, but I prefer the texture of the yarn that I'm using. I got mine from Spotlight and I'll link it in the description below. These are the dimensions for the bag. The bag is entirely customizable, meaning that you can do more rounds of the body or the bag strap, customizing it to the size that suits you best. Without further ado, let's get started. We're going to first start with a slip knot. How I do mine is I like to form a loop by twisting my yarn and grabbing the tail end of my yarn and pulling through that loop, inserting my hook and tightening it. Now we can change the width of our bag. It can be any number of chains as long as it is an even number. So for me, I am going to do 38 chains. To do a chain, we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through. That is one chain. And I'm going to do this a total of 38 times. Once we have chained the width of our bag, we're going to add another 4 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we are going to work a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So this is our first chain, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. To do a double crochet, we wrap our yarn around our hook once like so. Insert our hook into that 4th chain. Grab a yarn and pull up a loop. Wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through 2. Wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through the other 2. Next, we are going to chain 1. We are going to skip that next stitch and work a double crochet into that stitch after. So again, wrapping our yarn around our hook, inserting our hook and pulling up a loop, wrapping our yarn and pulling through 2, wrapping our yarn and pulling through the remaining 2 loops on our hook. We are going to repeat that until we've reached the end. I'm going to show you a couple more times. We chain 1 after our double crochet, skip that next chain, wrap our yarn around our hook and insert into the next chain. Chain 1 again. So now we will just continue with our double crochet and the chain 1, skipping 1 chain as we go all the way to the very end. I've worked the mesh pattern all the way through to the end, and as you can see, I've done a double crochet and a chain 1 in this last chain. We're going to go ahead and repeat this 2 more times. So I'm going to do a double crochet in the same chain, chain 1. So I've repeated that 1 time and I'm going to do it 1 more time. Double crochet, a chain 1. So right now we have 3 double crochet and a chain 1 in that last chain. Next, we are going to work a double crochet on top of the existing double crochet from the last row. What I also like to do is, as I work my stitches, I'm going to tuck in the tail end of the yarn. So we're going to crochet over it, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the tail end of the yarn. I'm inserting my hook through that stitch and through the tail end of the yarn, pulling up a loop and working that double crochet, chaining 1, we're going to skip that next stitch and again work a double crochet in the stitch after. And again, I am crocheting over the yarn. And again, I've chained one, we're going to skip a stitch and work a double crochet in the stitch after. And chain one. As you can see, as we're weaving over or crocheting over the tail end of the yarn, it just means that there are less tail ends for us to weave in at the end of the project. Now we're just going to repeat exactly what we have been doing again all the way until the very end. We just want to make sure that we have a double crochet above each double crochet from the last row. We chain one, we skip a stitch and we work a double crochet, and that is our pattern. I've just worked the mesh pattern all the way through to the end. As you can see, I have done a double crochet and a chain one in that last stitch here. Next, we are going to do a slip stitch into that third chain. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I find it easier to just turn my work like this. And what you'll see is this little V is the first chain. This is the second, third, and fourth. So we're going to slip stitch into that third chain. To do a slip stitch, we insert our hook into the third chain, grab our yarn and pull through again. That is nice and tight. And what you'll see is this round shape is exactly the same on the other side. What we do next is going to be the pattern for the body for the remainder of the bag. I'm going to show you a couple of times how to do it. We always start by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to work a double crochet above the next double crochet. So we're gonna do a double crochet, insert our hook right above the double crochet from the prior round, and chain 1, and continue working a double crochet above the one from the prior round, chain 1. Again, we're skipping a stitch and working a double crochet above the one from the prior round, chaining 1, just continue. And so that is going to be our pattern for the body. We're just going to repeat the mesh pattern all the way around until we're at the end. The pattern is exactly the same as what we have been doing. Essentially, we just want to do a double crochet, a chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and then work our way, making sure that we have 1 double crochet sitting above each one from the prior round. I'm going to keep going and I'll meet you when I'm done. I've now worked the mesh pattern all the way through. In this last stitch, you can see I've just done a double crochet and a chain 1. The chain 4 that we did at the start of the round does count as a double crochet and a chain 1, which is the reason to why we are not doing a double crochet into this stitch. To end this round, we are going to be doing a slip stitch into the third chain. So this is our first, second, third chain. We're just going to insert our hook, grab our yarn and pull through and pull through. Again, nice and tight. So at the moment, this is what the bag is starting to look like. You can see the body forming. It's looking very, very cute. Now I'm going to show you one more time how we are going to do the body of the bag. It's going to be exactly the same as what we did the last round. So again, we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to work a double crochet into the next, on top of the next double crochet, and that can be used as our guide as we work through. So again, I've just chained 1, skipping a stitch and working a double crochet above the stitch from the last round, just like this. And as we work through, we're going to repeat exactly what we have been doing, just like that. We're going to keep going all the way around, and I'll meet you when I'm done. So I've worked the mesh pattern all the way around. We're now going to end this round by doing a slip stitch into that 3rd chain. So I'll show you. This is our 1st, 2nd and 3rd chain. We're going to insert our hook, grab our yarn and pull through again. And so that is the pattern of our body. We're going to go ahead and keep repeating until we've reached the desired height for our bag, and I'll meet you when I'm done. I've done a total of 14 rows for the body of the bag, and as you can see, this is what it's looking like at the moment. I'm very happy with it. I think it's super duper cute. To finish with the body of the bag, as you can see, I've just done my slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1. I've already cut my yarn. I'm going to pull through to fasten off. And we can weave in this end at the end of our project. And now we are going to work on the bag straps. It is entirely up to you where you would like your bag straps to start. I'm going to show you where I'll mark my bag straps and how I'm going to do it. I have counted and note that I have 42 double crochet all the way around, so meaning that each side should have a total of 21. I'm going to count with you so you see how I'm counting. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Counting from the left hand side, I want to mark the 8th stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to mark that. And counting from the right, I also want it to be the 8th stitch from the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in the middle we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go ahead and do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to turn my bag. Again, counting from the left hand side first, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to mark the 8th stitch here. Again, I want 5 in the middle, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that, in theory, should be our 8th stitch from the right. We'll just count to make sure. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So that is our bag straps already and marked. We're going to first start by creating a slip knot, but before we pull our slip knot completely tight, we're going to give it some space. Grab our hook out, insert our hook where we've marked our stitch here, and then insert our hook through the slip knot, and that's when we tighten. Next, we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through the slip knot end where we've marked the stitch, like so. And then we're going to chain 2, and then we will work a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the body of our bag. And chain 1. And so for the remainder of the bag strap, we are going to continue on with our mesh pattern until we've reached our next stitch marker, and that's when we'll do our next decrease. So we're just going to keep going. I've now worked the mesh pattern all the way around. We are now going to be doing our decrease. To do so, we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook, insert our hook into that stitch and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, wrap our yarn again and insert our hook into that next stitch, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, and to finish off our decrease, we're going to wrap our yarn and pull through all 3 loops. And so what you can see is that it has that little bit of a slant, similar to how we've started the straps over here with that slant. So we're going to continue on and do exactly the same, and we're going to decrease on either side. I'm going to show you again. We're going to chain 2. We're going to turn our work like this. We're going to work a double crochet into that next stitch and pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2 again, chain 1. We're just going to continue on with the mesh pattern. So I've just worked my mesh pattern along the bag strap. As you can see, this is where we have decreased. So we're going to do our decrease again with these 2 stitches. So again, we'll wrap our yarn around our hook and insert into that stitch and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, insert our hook into that next stitch, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, wrap our yarn and pull through all 3 to finish that decrease. And so if we lay the bag flat, this is what it looks like. It's slanting like this. And so we're just going to continue on and decrease on either side. I just want to show you one more time on how we do it. So this is where we've just done our last decrease. We're going to chain 2 again, turn our work, and then work a double crochet into that next stitch, chain 1, continue on with our mesh pattern, I'm now going to do a decrease again. As you can see, this is where the slant is, so the decrease will be on these 2 stitches. So again, wrapping our yarn around our hook, inserting our hook into that stitch and pulling up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, wrap our yarn around our hook and pull insert into that next stitch, pull up a loop, wrap our yarn and pull through 2, wrap our yarn and pull through all 3. And that is how we do the decrease on both sides. I ended up doing 5 rounds of decreases. You can go ahead and do more if you prefer, but now we are no longer decreasing and we're just going to be working on the bag strap. So we're going to chain 4, and we're going to turn our work, and so the chain 4 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, so we're going to work a double crochet in that next stitch, chain 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, again work a double crochet in that next stitch, chain 1, as this is where the decrease is. As you can see, this is the last stitch, so we'll just do one more double crochet, and that is what the strap should look like without us doing any decreases. I'm going to show you one more time. We're going to chain 4, turn our work, work a double crochet in that next stitch, we just want to make sure we don't forget this bit where we've done our chain 4. So we're going to wrap our yarn and insert our hook into the 3rd chain. So this is our 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm going to insert our hook and finish with our double crochet. So as you can see, it still creates that mesh pattern that we're looking for. And so again, we're going to chain 4, turn our work, we'll do a double crochet into that next stitch, and continue with our mesh pattern. And once we get to the chain 4, we make sure that we do a double crochet into that 3rd chain. So again, that's 1, 2, 3. Insert our hook, and there you have it. You can see that we are no longer doing any decreases. That is our strap. I've done a total of 8 rounds of no decreases for the bag strap. So right now, this is what the bag strap is looking like. And so this is one side of the bag. We're going to go ahead and do exactly the same on the other side. Just remember, we'll start from here where we've marked our stitch and just repeat our steps exactly the same, and I'll meet you when we're done. I have now gone ahead and done exactly the same on the other side. Now we are going to work on attaching the straps together. Now I've cut my yarn and I've left a considerable amount left. I'm going to weave through, and we're going to use this long tail end of our yarn to attach our 2 straps. First we're going to take our bag and turn it inside facing out. And then we're going to make sure that our straps are flat and align the two straps together so that we can start to attach them together. I'm going to grab my yarn needle and weave through. And I'm going to try my best to line the stitches right next to each other. And then I'm going to do an over-under method to connect the two straps. I find that this makes it nice and secure, and it also looks very neat. Right. And so we just want to make sure we don't miss any stitches as we connect the two together. And so we're just going to repeat until we've connected every stitch together. I have connected every stitch together for both the straps. I still have a fair bit of yarn left, so I'm going to go back and weave through just like this. Just so it's extra secure. If you want, you can see that we have the tail end of our yarn from the other bag strap. I'm just going to tie the two together for an extra peace of mind. Not too tight so it doesn't stretch funny. Gonna weave in the two tail ends. So gonna weave back through a little bit. Beautiful. Just gonna cut. And there we have it. Oh, it's looking so pretty. As our bag is still inside out, I'm just going to weave in some of our ends. Thankfully, as we have been varying our ends as we crochet, we don't have too many that we need to weave in. But for the ones that we do, we just want to make sure we put it through as many stitches as possible. I also like to go different directions too, just to be extra safe. The last thing we want is to undo all our hard work. Great, once we are happy with it, we can cut and just do the same for the others as well. I'm also going to remove my stitch markers. I always like to remove mine at the very end. Feel extra accomplished. Guys, look at what we just made. I am honestly so proud of us. I love how practical and how cute it is. I hope you love it